Hey, it's Steve Riley. Welcome to this episode of Great Practice, Great Life. And today I have a special guest, a dear friend of mine, and also a instructor. This is Denise Gamez, who is just a phenomenal asset to our company, phenomenal asset to the Atticus community, and just a delight. So Denise, thanks for being here. I'm really, really excited about this particular episode.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited about it too.
Okay, so the Double Your Revenue Workshop is a one-day workshop that is really designed to help a lawyer who wants to do just that, double their firm's revenue through a particular methodology to think about how to double it. And what really is powerful about the workshop, it starts to show you how you think about the growth inside your firm. And most lawyers seem to get stuck at a certain point not because their skills are bad, not because they're not hardworking, it's because the level of thinking that got them to where they're at is not going to be the level of thinking that gets them to the next level. And somewhere in the process of looking at the workshop or considering the workshop, lawyers get jammed up, they get scared, quite frankly. And the workshop looks at probably 8 to 12 strategic leverage points inside a law practice and allows you to tweak and consider how to grow those. So it's a fun workshop. It's one of the funnest things to teach as a coach. So Denise, what are your reasons? When you talk to lawyers about this, or you've seen lawyers go through the workshop, what scares them? What stops them cold, or like, I'm just terrified?
I think the entire thought of doubling their revenues scares them because when they think about, I'm going to double my revenues, well, now I'm doubling everything else. I'm going to double my stress level. I'm going to double my workload. I'm going to have to increase my staff. I'm going to and all of these things hit them immediately instead of going, wow, wouldn't it be cool to double my revenue? They get scared. And so, I also feel, the mindset shift that we talked about, that can be scary too. I think it holds people back. Like, well, this is the way I've always done it. So this is the way I continue to do it. And change is scary. Any change is scary. So I think that's kind of where they get stuck. I ask this question when I teach the workshop before, like right when we're getting rolling. I'm like, how many of you were scared to come here today because you were leaving your staff unsupervised, or you felt like you were leaving the office, didn't have time, and 80% of the room raises their hand every time. And so again, this is why you need the workshop. Also, when you're worried about your staff leaving your office for a day or two, you're going to figure out actually what truly is broken in your firm and where you need to maybe, start shifting again some of the things you're doing.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. So they're like, I not only do the time, but if I have to leave, what will happen with my team? What will they do? Will my clients need me? Which in itself is an indicator of why you may consider whether it's this workshop or something else. So I got another one for you that you and I've talked about before. And you and I've heard this, I don't know, maybe 10,000 times, maybe 20,000 times. You don't understand. This will never work in my type of practice. I am, let's just say, a family law lawyer. This will never work for a family law lawyer, or this will never work for a contingency fee lawyer. I need a special workshop just for my type of practice. What are your thoughts on that?
I hear it a lot. We all hear it a lot. Everyone thinks their practice is unique, and in some ways they probably are. However, running a business is running a business. And so these concepts that we teach could translate to almost any type of office. It could translate to a doctor's office, CPA office, with some tweaking. So practice area, while yes, you might market your practice differently, systems and processes are the same. And so it will translate, and it doesn't have to be practice area specific.
There's no way that I can double my firm's revenue. There's no way. So this is a waste of time, a waste of my money. You guys are, selling me some kind of snake oil voodoo stuff. It's not going to work. What's the fear there? What are they afraid of?
I think lawyers are just natural skeptics. And not in a bad way. I mean, they have to question. So they question everything.
That's our training, actually. We went through the 3-year school of how to be a trained skeptic.
So I think when they hear I can double my revenues, and especially 12 to 18 months, there's no way that can happen. That's impossible. I've been doing this for 10 years and I've never doubled my revenues that quickly.
Yeah. And there's no way you're smarter than I am. So there's no way. There's no way. And it's like, no, dude, it's not you're like saying it's not about how smart you are. It's about thinking about the process and the problem differently. It's nothing about the intellect.
I just usually say Riley did it. So certainly you're smarter than Steve Riley. So.
Well, that's a great benchmark. That's a good point. If Steve can do it, anyone can do it, which is unfortunately a big rallying cry for a lot of our clients. They look at me like, well, if he can do that, I can do that. It's true. It's true. It's true.
I mean, I just, obviously I want to fill my room, my double your revenue room with all these skeptics because it's fun for me when they have the aha moment. So I mean, we have a few coming up next year, and I invite you all to come out and join us at one of the workshops. And if you decide at the end of the day that it was the worst thing you've ever attended, we just refund your money. Yeah. So it's pretty simple.
Yeah. So it's not a financial risk; it's a time risk.
Time risk.
Yeah. And so it's what you're saying is an invitation. My thought is it possible? And I will say that my anecdotal evidence is that the average lawyer, solo small firm attorney, will double the revenue in 18 to 24 months out of the workshop. And I would say that 1/3 will see a doubling, 1/3 will fail miserably, and they'll probably see only about a 40 to 60% increase, which is obviously very dramatic. And the 1/3 will do nothing. And the 1/3 will do nothing because one of the things that you brought up earlier is they won't change anything. And they usually are the lawyer that says the problem is everywhere else. The problem is I can't find great staff. The problem is I'm too busy. The problem is I can't find great cases. I can't find great clients. And they realize that the problem, they don't realize, they blame everyone else, and they take no ownership or responsibility that the mess that they've created that's killing them is their mess. And they want to make no change emotionally, intellectually, habit-wise in their practice. And when we prefer, if you're that type of person, don't come to the workshop because I've met that type of person, and they're not living a great life. They're not living a great practice, and they're very committed to not having a great life and not having a great practice. They're committed to being a victim and complaining to everyone on the planet that will listen to them how wrong they are, like how wronged, how terrible this is, and that they're entitled to something great, but they're not willing to earn it. And they're not willing to earn it by making a simple change or taking a simple investment of a day in a workshop with you. And that is a tragic, tragic, tragic loss. So with that, Denise, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is there anything you want to add or say before we wrap it up?
No, I think we're good.
Thanks. Thanks for all the amazing stuff that you do for our clients. Thanks for all the patience that you have with me. And thanks for just being you. I really, really just a huge fan. So thanks, Denise. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this episode.